My name's Ralph Heister. I'm the science supervisor, and this is Mr. Lee Schaffler. He's the supervisor for technology and engineering education. So I'm glad you can be with us tonight. We have some things we'd like to share with you. And we're going to start. This is going to, it's not going to work. Listen. Yeah, it did. I think I have to have it turned. Okay, well, yeah. So I want to start with just what you think when we say STEM. What does that mean to you? What words, what phrases come to your mind as we start to talk about what STEM is? And if you could kind of jot that down on the little yellow piece of paper for us. Hi, how are you? What's that? Oh, okay. I'll give you a couple minutes here, and then Mr. Schaffler and I will pick that up. You want to just set them, put them on the board over there? Just a quick one response. Don't labor too much. It's not a test. Thank you. You want to just put these over here and kind of see what we came up with. Okay, so some of the things I see here. I see some science, technology, engineering, and math. So the acronym, we have that. See advanced science, geeks. Kids have to be strong in the hard sciences, physics, higher level math. A lot of science and technology. So good. So we have a general understanding, I think. And you're not alone if you're not quite sure what it is, because to be perfectly honest, we weren't sure either. There are a couple different derivations of STEM. We're going to be using STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. You'll also occasionally hear STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, the arts, and math. And then STREAM, which is science, technology, and reading, engineering, the arts, and math. So, but I think you'll see in our definition that really ultimately we want it to be transdisciplinary. So cutting across all of these different areas, whether or not we specifically put that in the definition. So why STEM? The U.S. Department of Labor estimates that there are going to be approximately 8.6 million new STEM jobs needed by 2018. So STEM jobs means that we need our students to have STEM skills. Turn it over here, just some examples, and these are just very general, but some of the different kinds of jobs that are out there. Artists and animators, audio designers. These are a lot of times things that people don't think about, and audio engineers that they don't think about as being STEM jobs. Mechatronics, where you're doing precision measurement, and you're doing, tooling and those kinds of things. Music data journalist. Surgical technician. Gamers, people who are designing new games for all the various different apps that exist today. And of course, sports statisticians. So lots of different STEM careers. And one that maybe is particularly apropos in light of all the things that have happened over the last year or so. Certified ethical hackers. Never knew that was actually a job, but it is. So, and they actually get paid pretty well.
All right, more on the technical end of things here. You can see that there's a broad spectrum that goes all the way over here in the theoretical realm, and the other end, obviously, over here, service and maintenance and so forth. But just for you to kind of capture here, you can see all the different bullets here, the different career areas that I'm assuming everybody has students in Hempfield here. Might be entertaining. Specifically looking at Pennsylvania, you can see the difference here, projected job growth, 12% for STEM jobs, 7% all other jobs. Job pay, median hourly earnings in Pennsylvania, almost $36 compared to $19. And then when you look at your unemployment rate over here from 2011 to 14, STEM jobs only 2.4% and other jobs 7.4%. So looking at all the statistics regardless, basically it's summed up here, 2 science and technology job openings for every 1 qualified job seeker. This is from the Workforce Investment Bureau here right in Lancaster. And just to kind of show you some of the different career areas as well as the associated salary and or hourly wage. So there's some really good money to be made out there for the right person, right qualifications. I want to show you a short video.
Of paleontologists at the University of Alberta.
It's going to kind of expand on the whole STEM concept.
Really cool about paleontology is that it has the potential, at least, to be a gateway science. By that I mean it's really, really good at getting people excited about it.
My name is Ryan Fairweather, and I'm a glass blower with Beat Kingdom Glass.
My name is Philip Bandura, and I'm also a glass blower with Beat Kingdom Glass. Glass, when it is liquid, it's so magical.
The intersection between the creativity and the science, for me in glass blowing, is really, it comes down to feel and experience.
Hi, I'm Sarah Strang and I'm a pharmacist. In our healthcare system, you would tend to hear more about the doctors and the nurses, and you don't often hear about the pharmacist, but the pharmacist actually has a very unique and very valuable role to play.
My name is Aruba Edmund. I am a web developer and I'm co-founder of Wanderer, which is a design and dev studio. To me, coding is creative. It's a lot more creative than people think it is, and it's a lot of problem solving and thinking of things from a different angle, which to me is art.
I'm Reed Kerber. I'm an associate professor in faculty of kinesiology at the University of Calgary, and I'm the director of the Brain Injury. Wearable technology is just awesome right now, and we're working on ways to collect information from people while they're out for a run, out for a walk, and understand if that is pushing them towards an injury or not.
My name is Marianne Egermont. I'm a senior instructor and associate dean at the Hempfield School of Engineering at UC. So one of my passions is bio-inspired design, so looking at nature for good ideas for engineering design that are more sustainable than what we currently do.
I'm Sue Lingo, and I'm the health reporter for Global News in Edmonton. I just knew that was what I wanted to do. It combined science and writing, and I could meet new people every day, and I just jumped at the opportunity. It was the perfect job for me.
Hi, I'm Patrick Glarski. I'm an assistant professor in the Department of Medicine at the University of Alberta. I study machine intelligence and rehab technologies and how to bring the two together. We're seeing people with replacement body parts that are faster, have other abilities that we do not have. And that's kind of wild.
Hi, my name is Sydney Plater. I'm a geologist with the Alberta Geological Survey. Being a geologist, you in a way get to be a bit of a time traveler, and that you get to go back through time and sort of figure out what the world was like, at different points in time.
Jasper Growell, and I'm a student. I work in the Rotary Flames Lab for spinal cord research. My dream job is to be a neurosurgeon. Why? There's a lot of reasons, but I think I'd point it towards the challenge of it and the effects of it.
My name is Kylie Toe, and I'm the founder of Chic Geek. So my background is in communications, marketing, and it's actually provided a really great foundation for the work that I do now in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math.
My name is Dr. Shauna Pandya. I'm a resident physician in general practice with Alberta Health Services through the University of Alberta. I'm also a citizen scientist astronaut with Project Possum and Project Phenom. I'm also a prime crew member for Project Poseidon. What motivates me and what sparks my curiosity is that there is just so much out there that is unknown. So one of my favorite quotes, and it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, is the dinosaurs didn't have a space agency, and look what happened to them. And so it's kind of this facetious way of saying that, you know, if you're happy to sit back and say, hey, we've made it as a race, you're not really preparing yourself for the unknown.
Okay, so in that video, you see the confluence of a lot of different areas, including reading and writing. It's not just science, technology, engineering, math, but it's anything that's creative and gets kids thinking. So in the district's comprehensive plan, the board and Dr. Adams laid out their goals for where they want STEM education to be in the Hempfield School District over the course of the next several years. And they want to ensure the provision, obviously, of rigorous comprehensive STEM education across our K-12 system, which we don't currently have. And why? To provide STEM skills, build those STEM skills in our students and make them future ready. That's our goal. And so a lot of what we're doing and what we're going to share with you tonight, some of the things that we're in the process of planning, some things that we've just recently completed, and other things that we're going to be working on over the next couple of years. So I said at the beginning that our understanding of STEM is evolving probably much the way yours will tonight, and as you continue to read about things in the future. And it started for us really when we went to a STEM collaborative with the Lancaster County IU, and spent a day looking at STEM and talking to different people and going through some different activities. And then I think what really helped us a lot was last spring we went to we attended the Discovery Education workshop down in Reading, and that was really valuable because I think it certainly changed my thinking. I think it changed the thinking of everybody who went in terms of our definition of what STEM really looks like and what it really is. So what it's not, and this is I think really important, it's not curriculum, it's not content. That's not what STEM is. And I think a lot of people say, well, we're just going to put a course in, or we're just going to put we're going to do this activity, and that's STEM, and we're covered. And that's not really what we want to do. What we want to do is we want to engage kids in rich activities throughout their career here in the Hempfield School District, and really get them thinking, and really get them to apply the things that they're learning. And not just in science, and not just in their tech classes, but across our curriculum. So what is STEM? It's about the context and how we engage students in the learning experiences that we provide them. It's about creating a culture of learning here in our school district. It's about the 3 R's, rigor, relevance, and relationships. I think that's really important. Anybody who's taught will tell you that the relationships that you build with students are what enable you to push their thinking and help them to really grow and expand their thought processes. And then, of course, all of that interconnected, as you saw in the video, with the 4 C's: creativity, critical thinking, collaboration is really important. And then, of course, communication, the ability to communicate what you've learned to others. So you'll see a term here. If I can, what I do here? Hit the wrong button. I need that. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah. Okay, you'll see this term, transdisciplinary, as a theme. And it's an unusual word. It's a word that maybe you're not as familiar with, but, okay, now it's not clicking forward here. Yep.
Magic time.
Yeah. All right. And transdisciplinary just is the idea that it's going to cut across the curriculum to all the different disciplines. And it's really up to us to figure out how to do that. It's easier maybe in some areas of the district. It might be a little bit easier, for example, in the elementary, where in some cases you have one teacher teaching all of the disciplines, and maybe not as easy when you get to the high school where kids are all on different schedules and they're taking different courses at different times. But those are some of the things that we need to try to figure out as we go through this process. All right. There. So our definition is STEM education is an intentional, transdisciplinary approach to teaching and learning in which students acquire cohesive knowledge, skills, and attitudes of science and technology. And the key here, I think, or the other key piece for me at least, is to transfer and apply to both academic and real-world contexts. Get the kids to actually do something with some of their skills that they're learning in their classes. So where are we right now? Well, we've designed and implemented 2 new units of study in grade 5 and in grade 6. We have engaged students in a design challenge. That's still in kind of I would say last year was our first year that we did that. It went pretty well. I think we can make some changes to make it better. So we're going to be working on that this year. And at the high school in 9th grade, we just got done the 8th and 9th of November. We partnered with Junior Achievement to have a STEM experience for all of our 9th grade students. And it was great. I think the kids enjoyed it. I think it was definitely worthwhile, but we need to do more.
All right, some things that we have going on at the high school right now. Project Lead the Way, I'll talk about that last. We have a pro-team collaboration with New Standard. More to follow that. First Robotics Club, men's zone camera project we just finished for the football team last year. Entering a lot of competitions, and that's where you get to apply, like Ralph was saying, some of the things that you're learning across the different disciplines. How are you going to be able to solve a problem? Because there's obviously more than one way to be able to solve a problem and work together. And this is something new that we're working on here, our SEAL Challenge, where we're partnered up with, we have an assigned engineer, and that's with Penn State Electro-Optics Center. So here are just a couple pictures down here from last year's Governor's STEM competition. Real good job. The kids did a real good job there. What they ended up doing, it's kind of hard to see here, and I wanted to keep this kind of short, but what they did was, their design brief was to develop something that was going to improve the quality of life in Pennsylvania. And they noticed that some of the students occasionally, if they got hurt, or even if you had somebody who was physically disabled, that they were having trouble carrying around their backpack. So what they did was they designed this, it was a boom that would fold back and forth. And so they had to go through and they worked on that. They did, I think they spent about 7 months altogether on it, and then had to go over and give the brief to the judges. And again, did a real nice job on that. Independent study in electronics, just an example here, where this student brought in his skills not only from design using Inventor and some of fabrication skills, but also things that he learned in electronics like Bluetooth and running wire, that kind of thing, making connections, and really did a nice job on this. Pro Team was something that we're still finishing up. We just ran some of these keychains, and if we have some time here, you're more than welcome to come down and look at some of the stamping, and this was the finished product. But a partnership with New Standard over in Pelham, and what they do is they manufacture, they perform stamping operations for Briggs & Stratton, John Deere, some of your heavy hitters there. And they kind of sought us out. I put Mr. Johnson in touch with the right people over there, and we ended up expanding that a little bit. We only started off with 11 students. Actually, 2 of those students ended up getting a job working there as an intern over the summer, and then started working full-time in the fall. But the students went down through and worked right alongside the engineers and the whole design team, and ended up coming up with the actual final product here, which we just finished about 3 weeks ago. I guess we ran 3,000 of them, 1,000 over 3 nights. So. And then this is our signature program. We added this to the tech ed department about 8 years ago, and this was a perfect fit to augment our existing tech ed program. So, how many have not heard of Project Leadway? Okay, so it's a pre-engineering curriculum. What you need to know as parents is this is a great way that, and I'll be perfectly honest with you, when we do, I was just talking to Ralph earlier today about that, when we do curriculum night come January or February, the majority of the parents that I've talked to, that their kids are going to be doctors, lawyers, or engineers, and that's just not the reality of things. So what this does is get your son or daughter into the first course is Intro to Engineering Design. It gets them in, and then the second course would be POE, Principles of Engineering, to see if engineering is really for them. And instead of going through high school and then spending a year of tuition where you're going to Drexel and forking out all that money, and then it's like, this really isn't for me. Well, that's kind of an expensive proposition there. So these are called the foundation courses, and then we have 3 what are referred to as career courses: digital electronics, civil engineering and architecture, and then computer integrated manufacturing. Here are some things that we're starting up here a little later on.
So where are we going?
And if I could just finish my thought, Ralph. Robotics is a big part here, a big component of our middle school initiative. Robotics Club's going to be the first thing that we do. And Project Lead the Way is focused or uses the VEX type of a system. And what we're going to start using is Lego. It's an EV3. It's called Mindstorms is what you use to program. This is just kind of 2 different generations. And then what we're still using in electronics is the basic stamp, where that's an actual microcontroller that you can pop that in and out program as you.
Okay. So as he said, we're going to be at the middle school, we're going to be starting a robotics club. We actually have already purchased some things to get that started. We're going to hopefully get kids involved in student competitions as part of that. We are starting this year in the planning process, be meeting with all my middle school staff, as will Mr. Schaffler, on December 2nd to kind of introduce and do some brainstorming for plans for a grade 7 STEM project based on learning assessment and an assessment experience, rather. So we got some ideas already. We're hoping to move that forward, and I'm hoping by the end of the year we have a plan that we're ready to implement the following year. And then that'll be followed by a grade 8 STEM project. Not exactly sure what that's going to look like yet, but again, we'll be working on that over the course of this year and into next year. And again, we want these to be transdisciplinary. We want to make sure that we're integrating the 4 C's throughout the entire grade 7 and grade 8. So we want to do more than just have this in our life science or our earth science class. We want to integrate this and make this a little bit more involved than just a single course. Okay. Okay, long term, we want all students fully engaged, grade 7 and 8. We want to get our robotics coding integrated into our grade 7 and grade 8 math and science where appropriate. We want to integrate STEM projects within the middle school exploratory clusters. We're making some changes in the schedule, and we're going to have a little bit more time in our exploratories. And as part of that, we're hoping to introduce some STEM projects in some of those exploratory, as part of those experiences for the students. At the elementary school, as I mentioned, we have a STEM project in both 5th and 6th grade right now that we're working to improve. And then now from there, our goal is to start to look at the other grades. What can we do in K through 4 to either improve? It's not really to add to our curriculum, but it's to take what we have and look at it differently and ask, how can we integrate the other disciplines into a project and really get our kids to apply the skills that they're learning and not just, kind of go through the same old. So we want to kind of take a fresh look at some of the things that we're doing. That's what we hope to do.